Okay, case in point now, people are in love and they've not really considered preconception and they get pregnant. Is there a way we can save that couple? Is there a way we can save these partners? Because many times you think, oh, I'm in love and I'm going to have a baby, but then can I go to a doctor and then find help afterwards? Let's say in case of HIV, diabetes, sickle cells, can I get either treatment or advice on how I'm going to cope with this pregnancy?
Thank you very much. So anytime someone, like we said, 4 out of 10 pregnancies are going to be unplanned.
Yeah.
So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 10 pregnant mothers, get off 4. They were not expecting to be pregnant. But we are saying anytime you know that you're pregnant, immediately walk to the doctor. Anytime. So that the other things that you may have missed preconception, we are able to do many of them at that point. Though we may not be able to change much. For example, if someone, sickle cell and a sickle cell, 2 partners meet, that one now we can't change it. Automatically the baby will be born with sickle cell. But there are other things we can be able to do. For example, sickle cell may be associated with low levels of blood, so we boost your blood so that you sail through pregnancy safely. So we are encouraging all mothers, anytime you think you want to conceive, come to the doctor.
So I would like to go deeper into a topic of myths about preconception. You know, I have children myself, and I remember before I gave birth, people had so much to tell me. Oh, before you conceive, eat yams. You want twins? Eat yams. You will get babies. I ate yams, you guys. I ate yams, but nothing. I got 1 child. Then they said, oh, if you take sugar, kasukari, you will get a baby girl. Or if you take lemons, or you eat chocolates. I tried everything, but at the end of the day, I want to get the truth from the doctor himself. Before I got the doctor though, I want to know more from the mother herself. Tell me more about your myths before you conceived. What did you hear?
Actually, the only myth I had is I wanted a baby girl. Like, I badly wanted a baby girl because I wanted my girl to enroll into modeling. I wanted to be her role model. I wanted her to join all these beautiful pageants. Then I asked someone, what can I do? Then this person told me, you know what? Don't worry, just keep touching your left part of the stomach. So if you feel there's something hard there, that means that's a girl. So you know how you badly want something.
Yeah.
I kept touching. And of course your mind also, I don't know how it does it. It makes something appear. Trust me, every time my man would tell me, you have a baby boy, we wouldn't talk. I'll tell him, you know what? The baby's even on the left. It's a girl. Like, you know. So after some good time, I went to the hospital. So you know when reality needs to knock at some point. So I had to go and tell the guy, you know what? I need to do this test. I want to go for a scan. So when I went for the scan, we were talking with this guy. The doctor was so nice. We were laughing, told me that baby is very fine. You know how we were laughing, you know that moment. Then out of the blue, I didn't ask him for the gender. Then guy tells me, no, it's a boy. That's where the story ended. And at the back of my head, I'm like, but the baby is seated on the left.
Yeah.
It's a girl, not a boy. So I went complaining. So it kind of broke me down.
Yeah.
But it was a myth that killed me as a person. So at that point, I don't believe in myths.
But at the end of the day, you had a very nice bouncing baby boy. And
Yeah.
we're happy for that.
It's the best thing I ever had.
Hopefully
So
in the next you have a girl.
I pray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, you know, it's so funny because myths have come from so many years ago. We've been believing from our grandparents, great-grandparents, and some things have come to pass.
Yeah.
You know, the Chinese calendar, when you're ovulating or not ovulating, the days you're counting to have a boy or a girl, or to even have twins.
Twins.
The positions you should hold. Others tell you, after the man is done like this, raise your legs. Raise your legs and pray.
I know.
And just pay attention when you feel like something is scratching on your umbilical cord here. The child is there. It's implanting. It's implanting. But then I think people like who are not really like exposed to hospitals, people who won't come to get the truth from a typical hospital don't really get to know that some of these are just myths.
Yeah.
And you might be lucky, a myth could work. You might try something that someone said and you could get a girl or a boy, or you could get twins, but maybe it was just God's plan for you. But then again, we need to hear it from the doctor himself. Do we believe in myths or not? And what are those myths that we should do without that might affect our reproductive systems? Dr. Nsubuga.
Thank you very much. I think this is one of the very interesting things I always get while I'm in the clinics. One of the stories, one told me I've been sleeping on a green mat under my mattress. So I'm expecting twins. I'm like, so where did this come from? Some person told me you put it under the mattress, you'll have twins. So I was in trouble because I need to confirm the twins this time around, and it was one baby, honestly. So these myths exist. These myths exist. Now, the myths that exist, how are myths important to the pregnancy? They can affect a pregnancy negatively. Some may have no effect. But how do they affect? For example, if someone is told, for you to be able to conceive twins, you need to do this. You need to take this. You need to take this herb. So this person conceives and is taking these herbs. These herbs, some of them are harmful to the pregnancy. Actually, many of them are harmful to the pregnancy. So that's where troubles come from. There are very many stories that will come up. Now, the most important thing is that keep in touch with your doctor.
Yeah.
Once someone tells you something, because information is everywhere. These days, the internet is all over the place. We go and visit our grandparents who are very important in our lives, but they have grown up with myths, and it's not their problem because this myth has existed from those days. They tell you something, they tell you to do something. Please consult with your doctor. Please consult with your doctor. Especially if it's something to do with ingesting something. Ingesting means eating something or drinking something. It involves something to apply to your body. It involves something to do to the pregnancy. Please, always. But the other interesting thing I tell people is that the people who tell us some of these things are close to us. They are not very far away from us. They are either our best friends, they are either our grandparents or our parents, and they are the ones who are going to take care of us in the hospital.
Yes.
So once they tell you this nice thing to them, which is truth, and for you, you think it's wrong, and you've consulted with your doctor and you've agreed that it's wrong, I tell people there are those things that will not harm the baby, and there are those that will harm the baby. For example, if they tell me to eat something because the baby will turn out to be in a certain way, I should receive that thing. Don't refuse it, because you know the social connections are important. These are the people who are going to support you. But once you receive it, you don't have to eat it or drink it. You can always keep it. They will be happy that you've received it. But importantly, consult with your doctor to keep your baby safe, but also without harming these relations. Yes, so that's important.
Because I believe most of the herbal things we ingest, you know, most times you don't even know the dosage you have to take. They'll tell you, take this jerry can. If you drink this jerry can, that baby will come out very healthy, very clever, and then you're going to keep drinking and drinking this herb, not knowing you're affecting the child's brain or the child's nervous system because you don't know the dosage of these herbs. Like he said, receive it, push it under the bed, and do it the healthy way. Eat right, drink right, and make sure you take your pregnant care medication so you can conceive a healthy child. Let's talk about pregnant care. This is about preconception, right?
Yes.
What does a mother have to do when they're going to conceive? Do I have to prepare my body? And if I have to prepare my body, how do I do it?
Thank you very much. Maybe even before you take me to that one, I want to add something small about the myths. Some myths are to do with certain foods. I've had certain myths where they tell someone, don't eat pineapples because your baby will have a chinanasi. Oh my God. In Uganda, we are very rich with all these fruits.
Actually, they told me if you eat pineapple, like in your 9th month there, you have a very light-skinned, clean baby.
So I've had someone asking me, can I take milk? Can I eat? So someone asks you whether they can eat almost all sorts of foods.
Actually,
so please, yes.
With a myth, there is a myth I've remembered. You know, when you're pregnant for the first time, everyone wants to give you something and everyone wants you to do something, and you're actually eager to do anything they're telling you to do. Then this girl tells me, you know what, my auntie used like, what is it called, like drugs when she was going to give birth, and she pushed, the baby didn't hurt. So I was like,
You mean
I
herbs?
think
Herbs.
no, like what is it called? Like
Marijuana.
yeah, like the baby won't you won't get pain. You'll just give birth. So I was like, the way I fear pain, I was like, I'm coming. But thank God, that day I didn't know what came on. Like you know how the things just come. So I didn't have the brain to go and look for this person. Like all you needed is the baby out. First thing I thought about is how do I reach sick care. So, like, then after giving birth, I realized most of these myths, you will end up dying or losing a child.
Yeah.
Because you really need to go in with a brain, not foolishly. That is one of the things I learned. Yeah.
And I think even some herbs, I think if you overdose on a herb or believe in any of these myths, it yams, it clay, you might even lose your child before you actually conceive a child.
True.
So be careful what you're going to take in before you conceive, because you might, damage your system, and you won't even be able to give birth to a child in the first place. So let's talk about the medications we need to have before
Pregnancy.
Yes.
So you asked me a question, what should this beautiful lady do after making decision that now it's time to have my baby? Some of these decisions actually start at home. At home, I mean with your parents. I'm assuming maybe you're not yet living in with this person. But even if you're living in with this person, do you know your certain statuses? For example, your HIV, certain diseases like sickle cell, hepatitis B. So if you don't know these ones, first thing is, I'm walking to the doctor. Tell the doctor, I'm planning to conceive around this time. Because if you're planning to conceive next month, it might be short notice. It's better maybe 3 months before. The doctor will assess you, screen you for all these diseases. Some of them we are born with them, others we get them along the way, others are sexually transmitted. You and your partner, you get screened. You get counseled. You get prepared to understand what it means to be pregnant. How does the journey be like? We start preparing your body with stores of important nutrients that the baby will need. A baby is like a house. We build the baby brick by brick, cell by cell. So the baby will need certain components. So we want to understand, are you nutritionally in good state? We give you folic acid 3 months before. Now, down the road, you have conceived. Immediately, you know that you've conceived. You come back to the doctor and you say, I have conceived. Because at that point, there are also certain things that we need to take care of. We need to check you still for certain other conditions. We need to guide you on how to go through the various stages of pregnancy, and we continue checking on you because there are certain conditions that may not have come while you're not pregnant, but once you're pregnant, they come. For example, high blood pressure, as we call preeclampsia, and these ones are one of the leading causes of maternal deaths in Uganda. Deaths while people are pregnant, while mothers are pregnant. Certain things like we want to know how much blood do you have. Some people conceive when they're already anemic. Anemic means your blood levels are low. That means your body is not fit to carry the pregnancy, but also at the time of delivery. When you deliver and you bleed, however little blood you will lose, you will be in trouble, ending up almost dying. Why? Because you started with already low blood levels. So that's why it's important. You're pregnant, walk to the doctor. That's the first step.
before you get pregnant.
You can read the internet, you can consult people, but walk to the doctor such that you can ask all these questions. The doctor can be able to check you, examine you, and your partner. This journey is wife and husband, female and male, who are planning to conceive.
Yes.
The take-home message is walk to the doctor.
Pre-pregnancy is about checking up and knowing your status before you conceive. It's not about being in love and conceiving and having a child. You have to know your body type and your body and your partner's body as well before you plan to get pregnant. And to hint more on that, I want to talk to a male about this. Someone with experience, a father, who can tell us about preconception and what they might have considered with their partner. I'll invite him to the studio right now.